I'm here with the Bregman family. I'm here with Ezekiel Bregman, Chris Bregman, and Felicia Bregman, recent graduates of the Elite Performance Accelerator. And I wanted to welcome them here and ask them some questions, just really understand their journey over this past 3 to 4 months, see how they've changed, see how they've grown, and really just hear their story. So without further ado, the Bregmans, I'd love for you to get us started, Zeke.
Well, like you said, my name is Ezekiel Bergman, and I'm from Minnesota in the Minneapolis area. And the reason why I play basketball is because, first started around eighth grade, and I took an interest in it when I noticed I was getting a little bit better. So I was like, maybe I should continue this, and I continued it from eighth grade all the way to ninth grade and throughout my whole high school. And I had a real struggle with my confidence through those years. For example, whenever I get the ball or pass it right away, I would get scared, fumble. For these past couple of months, for example, I would say the most I saw change was a couple of AAU games I've had during the weekends is I would be more confident. I would drive down and I would shoot that shot, make a good move and stuff. So I would say I'm way more confident than I was 3 months ago.
That's awesome. And I'd love to hear about specifically, like, let's speak to a player who's maybe in your shoes when you got started in the program. What were some of the issues that you were facing during that time?
Issues I was facing was, constantly comparing myself was a big one. And I would say also not making a move when I get the ball, immediately pass it. And I would also, just mine would be spiraling a lot from and out of the court, in the court, thinking about what people are thinking about me and stuff. So I would say I've become more independent in my thinking and less we're focused about what others think about me. And even if they do think negative of me, I just wipe it off my shoulder. I would say I would put that in basketball, but I would say I also change a lot with school too,
Awesome. So you feel like the change is not just a basketball thing. It's really bigger than
Yeah.
you see
Yeah, a
it.
lot of things. School too.
Okay, that's awesome. And Chris and Felicia, I'd love to hear from you. Obviously you have your own journey as parents through this process, but just from your eyes, and Zeke better than myself and anybody else who would to watch this. How have you seen him change both on and off the court over this last 3 months?
Well, I can start. Well, I've seen a tremendous change in just his approach. He goes for it. Instead of he's not hesitating. He does the journaling. He may not be consistent, but he does his journaling, and that really helps him. I just feel like he is more confident. He's not thinking negative. I used to get the call or the drive home, and the drive home was always the big, like, oh my gosh, what are we going to say? I'd be saying to Chris, okay, we'd be prepping ourselves, what to say before he would get in the car. But now we don't really have car ride issues. I think that one thing I like what you said before on one of the calls was not what you could do, but it's what you can do. Like could is in the past and the can is what can I do? And I mean, just those nuggets that you gave him the truth and you didn't allow the excuses, you know what I mean? But you articulated it in a way where it was nice.
Yeah.
But it still was encouraging. It uplifted, and exhorted. It was something that kind of helped him to receive it.
Yeah.
Versus like from us or from even his coach.
Yeah, definitely. That's a God-given gift. I can't take credit for that. And God's taken me through my own seasons of being in the wilderness on and off the basketball court. And now I'm able to help young players navigate through their wilderness season. And to keep on that note, Chris, I'd love to hear from you. Just talk a bit about your before, right? Your before the awkward car rides, the uncomfortable car rides on the way home, and maybe how that's changed in the past 3 months from your vantage point.
Yeah, I guess one thing that sticks out to me is if he does have a hard time in a certain situation or like a bad day in general, it may just take just a reminder a little bit for him to realize, oh yeah, you know what? I'm on the wrong track here with my thinking. I just need to pull myself up here and get it together instead of like just kind of wallowing in it and staying down for an extended period of time like he typically did in the past. So that's a big thing. It's like even you're not always going to be on your A game, right? Or have the right attitude all the time. So when you get down, it's a matter of not staying in that, but pulling yourself up. So that's what awesome. Stood out to me.
That's awesome. And Zeke, I'd love to hear it back to you, man. What are you most proud of about yourself, right? Over this past 3 months, what's something that you're extremely proud of that like really nobody can take away from you now that you've gained throughout this process in the Elite Performance Accelerator?
I'm really proud of my confidence and my motive to get better at things. I like to do things consistently. For example, I've been going to the gym more consistent and stuff, working out. Yeah, I would say I get better at that. I also say I'm more confident of what the type of person I am, not letting what people say to me get the best of me. I'm not even barking back. Oh, you're something else, man. I just wipe it off, just move on.
That's awesome. One of the reasons why I really enjoyed working with you and other players like you, you're extremely intelligent and you remind me a lot of myself. And sometimes an intelligent player can struggle with the overthinking aspect because you see a bunch of different outcomes. You see a bunch of different possibilities, right? And really being able to have a plan and a system and get that feedback to be able to lay everything out on paper, right? That's why we journal as much as we do and have some of the exercises that we do. You're able to step into battle now with a clear mind, and you no longer think about all the possibilities. You can just go out there and play your game, which is great to see.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'd love to hear from you, Felicia, because we had spoken in the DMs before you all first joined the program. And I've seen a lot of growth in you both as parents. And I see more peace of mind for sure from when we first started speaking. And I just love for you to just share a message specifically to other parents who may be watching this, who maybe just don't understand the fact that this isn't just about their child. This is about their whole entire family and reestablishing a healthier dynamic, not just in the car rides, but I'm sure it's translated to other places as well.
Yeah, I had a lot of fears surrounding like this is an online thing. You're not in the face. Everything is through computer. But you helped me with that and followed through. You followed through. You followed through quickly. You were able to answer questions that I was insecure about. Probably a bit too much for Ezekiel because I'm always trying to cover him. I'm always like, oh, you have to be respected. And so I'm always trying to go do way too much. And so I felt like in this program, like on the parents' calls, it kind of checked me in some ways of, I think there was one time you were talking about parents and you said something to the effect of how your child is showing up on the court, or maybe they can't talk to a coach or something. And it's because they can't do it at home. I was like, ooh. Whoa, you know what I mean? What am I not allowing him to say? Because I feel like I do, but it did hit. Like I was like, whoa, okay, I need to check myself in that area because I don't want me to be the reason why he can't be his full self. And so like I felt like this whole program was like for him, but I got a lot. Listening to the calls. It was like a mastermind for the players. It was a mastermind for the parents. I mean, it just brought it all together to help us kind of flow for me to let go and allow God to kind of do his thing. I feel like God was showing me, I got this. Yep. And I'm going to put the right people in place for him, for you, and you just have to allow me to work. When I did that and I just let go, it really actually helped him to improve. And I feel like he was able to utilize the tools because of that. They say the most controlling person has a lot of fears. And so a lot of my fears were kind of showing up. And so with the books, The Gaps in the Game, was it The Atomic? I mean, like when you say to look at all the things that you have, be a part of it, I felt like it really helped me. To not just look at it as one aspect, but I was able to use it in parenting when I would go to work. I only work a little bit, like 4 times a month, but I mean, I was talking about it with my clients. I'm like, you guys got to figure this out, how to be a part of this program. I was talking to some of the parents on the AAU team. I just felt like it was a real benefit for our family, for me, for Zeke. It's something that we'll always be able to take with us. I think you had a post, something about a boat. God was using you to start your own business and just little nuggets that you put out there. And it was like, you don't always have to have the security blanket. I think that's what it was with the boats. Yeah. Just step out and trust the Lord. And I felt like I had a lot of boats, but this was like teaching me to step out.
That's awesome.
And trust God.
That's awesome. Yeah, what I said is about burning boats, right? When some warriors in ancient times, they would take boats to go to the battlefield, to go to foreign lands, and they would burn the boats once they got there so that when they got there, the only way back home was to be victorious, right? They had to rebuild the boats in order to get back to where they were going to go. So that's awesome. Something you said, like you're talking about other parents and some of the struggles that they are potentially going through. I'd love to hear from you, Felicia, and then also Chris, if you care to chime in as well. Do you think other parents are struggling with the fact, or not even just struggling? Do you think other parents don't know how big of a role they're actually playing in their child's, overthinking on the court?
Oh, yeah. I think, yeah, big time. I think that with our own, we could project our own fears. We could project. For me, it was about protecting him because I'm a mom. And so I know all his struggles. I know all his voice thoughts that he has. I get the calls in the middle of the day. And so because of that, I feel like I gotta prep him. I gotta prepare him. Like for you, I think you said you were teaching the children about utilizing what they have. I think it was. Mm-hmm. And right now, what they have is their parents, they have you, they have all the different tools, they have things that are access to them to help them to grow. For me, I felt like you were that. This program was that. And so I think parents letting go and allowing you to do your job can really help them to be quiet. I don't know. Not necessarily be quiet, but your voice, I think, and you can hear better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you were talking to the parents, you were kind of giving us guiding us to just allow some things to kind of just flow, allow your voice and what you have, your expertise, help build them, because we don't know. We really don't know. We don't know the game. We don't know the professional part of it. All we know is that we want to support.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's awesome. Chris, do you have anything to add to that specifically? Just based off of what you've seen throughout this past season, right? Going to AAU games for Ezekiel or going to the high school games, how has your way of doing things, right? The Bregman family, how does that now compare to, I know we said we don't want to compare, but to other families who you saw are maybe coaching from the sidelines and doing the yelling and having those awkward car rides home?
I guess we can understand from people who obviously know the game way more than we do, like yourself, that it's a process, right? And you really just need to kind of calm down and stay focused and just keep working at it. Yeah, I mean, for myself, I only know from what I hear from others on how mental basketball is, because I quit basketball before I hit high school. But from what I understand, it's more mental than maybe say football, right? We obviously learned a lot from people like yourself on what works and what doesn't. I mean, yeah, because we can't tell Zeke from experience the game of basketball, obviously. But when we see others that on the sidelines, other parents that are obviously more experienced in the game, whether they played or whether they've had their child in the game longer than we've had Zeke, we can kind of take that as, okay, we can calm down and we can trust the process and kind of just step back and just make sure if he's down, help pull him up, just keep encouraging him, make sure, hold him accountable where we can, that he just continues to work day in, day out and just grow and make a little bit of progress in the right direction every single day, whatever that may look like.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you said about trusting the process. I think more parents, and you sound like a lot of other parents who've been through this program as well, just realizing that it's a longer picture. It's a longer game than the one that was being played maybe before you started thinking this way. Zeke, we're wrapping up on the end right here. I'd love to hear from you once more. Do you have a message in particular to a player who's considering joining the program? What would you tell younger Ezekiel 3 months ago, or a player who's in your shoes then?
I would tell a younger player to be open-minded to whatever advice you have. I'll tell the average person who's wanting to join to really focus and listen to what you got to say. It will really benefit them, even if they don't play basketball, but they will benefit them in life too.
Awesome. No, thank you for that. Thank you. And last but not least, Felicia and Chris, I'd love to hear from you once more. What would you tell that parent who's considering joining the Elite Performance Accelerator?
Make the investment, be involved, be a part of it, trust the process, do the things that you ask, just make the investment. Because like I said, there's a ton of these mastermind programs out there. And I feel like this was for the whole family. This was for him, but we also learned they will grow. Hands down, you will grow.
I love that. Thank you. Chris, anything to add there?
I would say, yeah, I mean, naturally, I guess for myself, I could be unfortunately skeptical or whatnot, or not give, a fair shot at being open-minded when I hear about something new. But yeah, I would say for me, it was a leap of faith. Just go for it and trust that you're going to see results. I mean, maybe not all of them, right away, but I mean, eventually it's going to kind of plant seeds that are going to grow as long as you keep putting in the work and hang on to those principles that you learned as you go through life. So you can get more out of it as long as you hang on to those things as you move forward.
Well, awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. It really is, motivating. Every time I do one of these calls, I really get inspired and motivated to do more of these calls and serve more players and families like yourselves. You all were a joy to have in the program, and I look forward to keeping in touch and continuing to work together. So without further ado, thank you, Bregman family. I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you all for tuning in to this video. Until next time, take care.